Hello and welcome to the CTCL Virtual Days College Fair. Thank you for joining us. I have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your cameras and microphones are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you, so you can just sit back, relax, and listen to this great information over the next 45 minutes. This is just one of many different sessions happening. Be sure to sign up for additional ones where you registered for this session. And this presentation is being recorded. It'll be available within about a week at the same website where you registered. It's all the housekeeping stuff, so I will step out of the way and turn it over to our presentation from Centre College.
Thanks so much, Russ. And thank you all for joining us today. My name is Thomas Becker. I am an admission counselor at Centre College and a 2015 Centre grad. It is our pleasure to welcome you virtually to our school today. I am joined by two of my colleagues and dear friends of mine. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. First, over to Adriana.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here. My name is Adriana Martin, I'm Assistant Director for Diversity Recruitment at Centre, also a Centre grad, originally from Los Angeles, but I'm really excited to be here. I'll pass it to Lauren.
Thank you. My name is Lauren Samuelson. I'm an Assistant Director of Admission at Centre College, also a Centre College graduate. I graduated in 2016, just between my two friends. And I'm originally from Louisiana, but went to high school in Southwest Florida before attending Centre. But I'm so glad you all are here today, and thank you for coming to learn more about Centre. I'll pass it back to Thomas.
Groovy, thanks. I guess I should say where I'm from too, since you all did. I'm from Northern Delaware, just outside Philadelphia. So lots of folks from all over the country who found their home right in the middle of the bluegrass. So thank you both for being here today. Like Russ mentioned, y'all, please feel free to make good use of that Q&A button down at the bottom of your screen. We're happy to answer your questions there. We're also happy to answer questions if you'd like to email them to us. That's a really great way to get that connection going, even in the middle of a webinar. So our email addresses are firstname.lastname@centre.edu. And feel free to connect with us, and we'll answer some of your questions at the end. But without further ado, I am going to go ahead and share my screen here. Hopefully you all are seeing that. And I'm going to tell you almost everything you need to know about Centre College. Centre is a place with many an accolade. We appear on a lot of lists for a lot of reasons, some really high quality ones. The beauty of our campus, the happiness of our graduates, our study abroad program that takes students all over the globe. But ultimately, what makes Centre special is the fact that it's ours, that we have the opportunity as students, as community members, faculty, staff, alums, the wide network of kernels to make Centre our own, to develop our own story, to feel a sense of place and a sense of home, and experience a transformative educational experience. The first thing you should know about Centre College is where it is. Centre is located in Danville, Kentucky, which is a small city in central Kentucky, about 20,000 people. We're about 35 minutes from the south side of Lexington. So for folks who are looking for urbanness within reach, we've totally got that. And for folks who are looking for more remote experiences, we are in one of the most beautiful parts of the country with plenty of outdoor recreational opportunities available to you. Danville itself is a thriving place to be. It is a place that attracts people back to it. This is not a sleepy place. Between the college and the hospital and the countless restaurants, stores, places to volunteer or to worship or to get plugged in with internships or research, it's a really quality place to experience college. It's been rated the most charming college town in Kentucky, the most beautiful small city in Kentucky, a top 10 college town in the South. So of the places where you might consider spending 4 years or perhaps even more, Danville's not a bad place to do it. We are located in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, which blends the best of the Southeast and the Midwest. So you have that family atmosphere, that sense of hospitality and friendliness that folks often associate with the Southeastern United States, with the groundedness and practicality and genuineness of the Midwest. Centre really leans hard into that identity of being both things really well, and Danville is the best example of that I've seen in Kentucky. About 1,400 students call Centre College home. A little bit about those 1,400 students. We try and maintain gender identity balance right around 50-50. So 52% of our students identify as female. This is particularly significant as we're seeing liberal arts colleges have much larger proportions of their student body as female identifying. Nearly a quarter of students identify as students of color, with another 6% of students coming to us from abroad. It's really important to us as an institution that the environment that our students learn in mirrors in some way the world they're going to be entering. And this is one way that we're able to allow students to experience that. And finally, something that I would hope you could expect from many places, but is much more rare than it is common, is that we are a very highly residential college. 98% of center students live on campus in college-owned and managed housing. The other 2% might have a family or medical exception that allows them to live off campus, but for the most part, we encourage and require students to live on campus because it adds to the sense of community and the sense of connectedness that students, faculty, staff, community members, all those with a connection to Centre College can experience and enjoy. You might be wondering what kind of student would do well at Centre College. And the really great answer to that is that many students are going to be able to do well at Centre College. The word that comes to mind when I think of Centre students is curiosity. Centre students are folks who value collaboration, they value learning. They're folks who are jeans and t-shirt type of people. They are not going to get dressed up to go to class because that would be really pretentious, and they're not going to show up in pajamas because that would be lazy. Centre students work hard, they play hard, and they genuinely enjoy each other's company. I think that one of the things that consistently astounds me and reminds me why I chose Centre is that students have this innate sense of gratitude for their experience. There's not a sense of shame in the privilege that they're able to enjoy in experiencing this high quality education. And there's also not a sense of taking it for granted. I think that there is an abundant thankfulness among our student body. So if something like that appeals to you, a sense of really grounded, really friendly people, you might find your community here at Centre. I'm going to pass things over to Adriana to talk about a number of things that Centre students do, including spending time with their professors. Adriana, over to you.
Thanks, Thomas. So yeah, I'd love to talk to you all a bit about the academic experience at Centre. So we are a small place, which means that the student to faculty ratio at Centre is really small. It's currently 10-1. We're a place where small classrooms and student to professor contact is really, really important. When you think about your experience in college, but also your experience beyond, we're often thinking about that relationship between students and professor as really foundational to the Centre experience. These are the folks who will tap you on the shoulder and bring you on to do research with them. They'll write letters of recommendation for you when you apply to graduate school. They will serve as references when you apply to jobs. And so keeping that ratio small is really important to us. I would say that in general, the Centre academic experience is one that's really collaborative between students and faculty. I often think about the Centre classroom as one where students and professors make the liberal arts and sciences come alive as they work together collaboratively, always thinking about Centre as the center point from which they use knowledge to move the world forward. So what does it look like within a classroom? So like I said, small classroom, on average about 18 students, no more than 30. I often think about the classroom experience and kind of those qualitative aspects as really being a place that's really rigorous, but also an academic experience where you'll be supportive. It's definitely an academic experience where you'll be challenged, where you'll be asked to rise to the occasion, where you'll be asked to kind of do your best at every moment, but also one where you'll be comforted and helped along the way. Like Thomas said, Centre students are really curious, and I think that they really find fulfillment in a job well done, but we're not a place that's really competitive, which is a bit different from other places. You know, our students really enjoy working together. They have this great sense that both of us can do do well together, and it doesn't have to be at the expense of one another. And it's this really great balance that I think that students at Centre find during their time with us. I've often often said that the name center is really serendipitous because it really represents kind of this tempering of extremes that I think our campus community really embraces during their time with us. If you are curious about programs at Center, this is our list of majors and minors. We do have a pretty traditional liberal arts curriculum. So when you take a look at our list of majors and minors, you know, you're not going to find something super specific like sports management or maybe marketing and communications. Does that mean we don't send students into those fields? No, we definitely send students into a number of different career fields. Our philosophy is really a little different though. We are focused on giving students those soft skills that research suggests employers really want in the people that they hire and the people that they promote. So you will leave Center knowing how to write well, how to think critically, how to solve problems creatively, and how to present information in a way that's really concise, but also meaningful. I often think about it as, you know, we're not just preparing students for the first job that they'll get after graduation, we're preparing them for every single job that they'll get after that, and those soft skills help. If you are a student though that is really focused, you have a pretty specific career path that you're wanting to follow, we do have these pre-professional programs that you see on the screen, and those are done in what we call an advisory capacity. So a student will choose whatever major they would like, but they work with a pre-professional advisor for whichever graduate program they'd like to go into, and that advisor is an additional advisor to a student's major advisor. So they work with that advisor during their time at Center. The advisor helps make sure that they have the prerequisites that they need for graduate school, maybe that they're taking advantage of research or internships, and they're also guiding them through the application process. Our degree partnerships in engineering, nursing, and teaching work similarly. We have dedicated advisors, but these typically work as 3-2 or 4-2 programs and are a partnership between Center and some other university. In general, one thing that I have always really appreciated about the academic experience at Center is that it's not just the classroom experience. I think that one of the most transformative academic experiences for our students really is research and the availability of research. We'll talk a little bit later about different components that are kind of built into the Center experience, but research definitely is a big part of that. And it's really accessible. It really is as easy as reaching out to a professor and seeing if they have research that they're doing that you can join in on. If a student has a really great idea for a project that they would like to do themselves, professors at Center are usually really eager to mentor students through that. And then we typically have a good number of students that will stay with us over the summer and spend the summer immersing themselves in research. It's a really great way to take those kind of theoretical foundations that you're taking and learning within the classroom and applying those to real world academia in a way that's really fulfilling. I've also appreciated that research at Center exists across all disciplines. I think we often think research and automatically go to the sciences, to labs, to experiments. But students at Center are doing really great research within the humanities, within the social sciences, and all of our students find a good deal of fulfillment in that. Well, that's most of what I have to say about academics. I'll pass it over to Lauren, who will talk a bit more about the student experience.
Thank you so much, Adriana. It was so fun to hear more about what academics at Center are like. And I'm excited to talk a little bit more about what the on-campus experience is like for students. As Thomas discussed earlier, we do have a majority, 98% of our students that live on campus all 4 years. And so what that means is that Center is not just a place that you go to class. It's not just a place you eat lunch. You're living there, your friends are living there. It's a community-based experience. And so I don't think I really knew what to expect of that before I came to college. It's very different than driving to class and then driving somewhere else. Having all of our students live on campus for 4 years really does create just a really nice experience, a family-like environment. It's definitely a specific experience that I think students are looking for when they want a really engaged campus community. So for us, there's a lot of fun things to do on campus because everyone's there all the time. And so we have over 2,000 campus events a year. There's close to 90 clubs and organizations. When I was a student coming into college, I was just so nervous I would get bored. I get bored very easily. And I never felt that way at Center. I think what's really unique and nice about Center students is that they're very multifaceted. I think it's very rare to find a student who's involved in just one thing. Typically, you'll find a student who's involved in 4 or 5 things that really interest them and they're passionate about. And I think that's something that's really cool about being in a smaller school, is that you not only get to be involved in a variety of activities and things on campus, but you also get to be a leader in those organizations. And that leadership potential, in addition to our academic opportunities, is something that I think really sets our students apart, and really helps you as you're getting ready for the real world and different leadership opportunities that you'll get to have too as an adult. And so for us, the events and clubs and organizations really range across a variety of involvements and interest groups. What's nice about our involvements is that our student clubs and organizations really come to you when you're a first year student at Center. One of my favorite events on campus is called Expo. And so during the first week of class, typically on a Thursday on Walnut Street, which is one of our main roads on campus, they kind of block it off. It's kind of like a big block party, but there are tables for all of our clubs and organizations on campus, and students can go and sign up for anything that they're interested in. So I think when I was a first year, I signed up for like 17, which is way too many, but it's a really nice way to just find out about everything that we have at Center. They could be service groups, Greek life organizations, diversity and inclusion clubs and organizations. We have a really popular outdoors club, religious groups, organizations from our community in Danville also come, and there's just a wide range of things to get involved with. So it's really cool as a first year to just feel so welcome to our community and see what's going on. Another thing about student life that I feel like is really specifically Center is a thing that's called Cowan banners. So in our dining hall on campus, typically during the week, you'll walk in and there will be big sheets of paper or painted bed sheets that are hung around the balcony. And what's really neat about that is that those are invitations to our campus. So those could be club meetings, they could be social events, service opportunities. And what's neat about the Cowan banners is that they really invite everyone. It just shows how inclusive our campus is, that those events are open for the entire campus and open for all students. And it's just a really fun way to see everything that's happening on campus throughout the week. So our students are involved in a variety of things that I talked about before. And on the right side of the screen, you can just see a taste of that. And we do have quite a few students that are involved in the arts. That could be visual and performing arts. We have the Jones Visual Arts Center on campus. Our students call it the JVAC or the Art Barn. And those are classes like drawing, painting, ceramics, glass blowing. You don't have to be an art major or minor to take those courses. Any student on campus can take them, which is pretty neat. We also have the Norton Center for the Arts on campus, which is a regional arts center that brings in Broadway shows, plays, events, speakers. They have a really impressive schedule that they have every year, and our students can go to those for free, which is super neat. And we also hosted the vice presidential debate there twice in the 2000s. And so really neat to get to go there. And our students are involved in different theater productions, musical ensembles, groups. And again, you don't have to major in those things to get involved. Typically, I think more of the students are involved or not majoring in those things, but it's just really neat to get to major in whatever you'd like, but still be involved in things that interest you. We'll talk about athletics in a second, but also good to know that our students are really engaged in service. About 85% of our students are engaged in service. Service is a part of every major and program. Pretty much every club and organization has a service opportunity as well. Our students really do care about our community, and they care about being better ambassadors of the knowledge and the experience that they're having in college. And it's really cool to see them doing this service while they're undergrads and taking that with them to where they go next. So about 42% of our students are involved in athletics. I'm excited to show you a little bit more about what that looks like. For us, we are Division III for athletics. And so there are no athletic scholarships, but typically our students would have some kind of scholarship and or financial aid package to come to Center. What's nice about being a Division III athletic program is that athletes really get to be students first. Our coaches and coaching staff are very focused on making sure our students are well-rounded, getting a full experience. I think what's nice about being an athlete at Center is that you really do get to have it all. I was a swimmer at Center and I got to study abroad. I was involved with Greek life. I got to focus on my major and be involved with academics. And it's really cool to see our student athletes on campus who are leaders and tons of different organizations. And it's also really cool to see our campus community really rally around athletics. On a Saturday, you'll see students that pop around to different games and events that are happening on campus. And it's just really neat to see faculty, staff, and students really cheering on our students in this way. So we are very competitive in our conference. We're in the Southern Athletic Association. And so we are very competitive, winning conference championships every year. And so again, about 40% of our students are athletes. So the students who are not athletes on campus actually identify themselves as non-athletic regular people, which is called NARTs, and they have a very unique culture too. But it's really neat to see how our athletes and non-athletes really do come together just to have a really cohesive campus experience too. So we're also really known for study abroad. Study abroad is a big reason that I ended up looking at Center, and I encourage you to think about studying abroad no matter where you end up for school. It's a really great opportunity to go and learn more about the world and more about yourself. And this is something that I believe that Center does very well. We do send about 85% of our students abroad at some point during their Center experience, and about 30% of students are going abroad more than once. And so this has been halted this year, obviously with the current pandemic, but typically during the year, we have lots of students that are gone for semesters in our January term called Center term, and they really get to go all over the world. And so what's nice about our study abroad program at Center is that there's just a bunch of different types of trips. On the next page, you'll be able to see pictures, but they really do go a lot of different places. And so what's nice too is that there are different types of trips. We're kind of known for our semester-long programs, and the semester-long programs are really awesome because of the same cost as being on campus in Danville, Kentucky. Those programs go to places like China, Japan, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Mexico, England, and France. And some of those programs, the ones in France, England, and Mexico, are led by Center faculty, and you go with a group of students to those locations. But what's nice is that there's also more opportunities for individual study, for exchange programs, whatever you're really looking for, we probably do have. We also have the Center Term program, which is our month in January where our students only take one class for 3 weeks. Center Term is probably most students' favorite time on campus just because it's really cool to get to focus on one class. It's kind of a nice breather after the break in the winter to come back before the spring semester. And those classes tend to be more unique, quirky, whether you're on campus or abroad. But it's a really great time to go abroad because those classes really go all over. Last year, they went to Finland, New Zealand, Barbados, South Africa, Thailand. They're really going just really incredibly unique places. And those trips are all led by Center faculty, and you go with a group of students. So Center does abroad really well. It's something that's very much ingrained into our culture. What's really neat about having not only international students on campus, but also a lot of our students going abroad for some portion of their Center experience is just the international focus that we have on campus. It's so common to be sitting at a Cowan table in our dining hall, it's called Cowan, and talk about world experiences that all of your friends have gotten to have. And it just really, really impacts the focus and the feel of campus just to have this incredible opportunity for our students. So it is something that we do guarantee that you'll get to do on your part of Center. So one thing we're also known for is the Center commitment. We've had this for over 20 years. You might hear about other commitments or promises from other schools, but we kind of invented this. So the Center commitment is something that we've been doing for a long time. I think we just formally started showing that we're doing all these things and that we're continuing to do it for all of our student classes coming in. So part of the Center commitment is that we guarantee that you'll get to do research or an internship, study abroad, and graduate in 4 years. And so that graduate in 4 years is something that's really important. I know my parents were thankful for that. And at the time when I was at Center, I don't think I realized how important and valuable that was. But what I do remember is on graduation day, how really special it was to look around and graduate with almost every single person I started my freshman year of Center with. And so we have a spot on campus right in front of Old Center, which is the kind of flagship building of our campus. It's been there since 1820. You start there for first year orientation with your class, and then you start the walk to graduation or commencement with your class there on this very same spot on graduation day. And so it's really neat to get to look around and have this 4-year experience with your class and really get to go off and just do incredible things after Center. So this is something that we do guarantee for all of our students, the Center commitment. And they say if you don't get those things that you will get your 5th year free. But to be clear, we've never given a 5th year free out, but just good to know we would do it if we didn't honor these things too.
Well,
Perfect.
thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the center commitment is by far one of my favorite things about center. We are so fortunate to have had this program. We've had it for 20 years. So it's really amazing to be able to continue to offer it to students, like Lauren said, and we will back that up. We've never had to pay for someone's 5th year of tuition at center because we're really committed to getting them out and forward. That's a good testament to the quality advising that you'll get at Center College, and also the quality experience that you can expect to enjoy with your classmates who are going to push you to experience these really awesome things. This is my favorite slide that we show in these presentations because I think it kind of sums up the center story really well. So 91% of center first years will return for their second year. This is well above the national average for liberal arts colleges, for all colleges and universities in general, and doesn't even come close to any other college or university in Kentucky. We really kind of lead the way here in making sure that folks have a really awesome first year and want to come back for their second year. Fast forward 2 more years after that, we have an 82% 4-year graduation rate. Again, this is significantly higher than every college and university in Kentucky and is significantly higher than the national averages for all colleges and universities and these smaller liberal arts colleges. So all of that experience, right, this idea that people want to come is really important to us. And the Alumni Factor, this organization that is not a center plant, it's not it's not a shell company for us. They told us that we have the happiest alums in the country. They look at a whole bunch of factors. They look at alumni willingness to give. They look at alumni satisfaction with their college experience and alumni satisfaction with their experience entering the workforce. So if you kind of sum this whole thing together, it is center students come to center, stay at center, graduate from center on time, and are really glad they went to center more than any other college or university in Kentucky. And in the case of the last one, any other college or university in the country. This is a really quality testament to our institution, and it's why we've been around for 200 plus years. We want you to be prepared for post-graduation at center. We realize that people don't want to come to college and stay in college forever, that it is intended to prepare them for the world. This is a photo from our Center for Career and Professional Development, which is one of the best offices I have encountered at any college or university. And they prepare our students really well for whatever is coming next for them. So 2/3 of our center grads are going to go straight into the workforce, as you might expect at a place that really values a global education. A lot of those folks are going to work in international contexts. But after that, it's a real smattering. People don't come to Center College to do one thing afterwards. They come to Center College to be prepared for whatever they want to do afterwards. So in terms of careers, about 2/3 are going to enter the workforce right away. Another third are going to go straight into grad school. And as you might expect, allied health related professions and law school, that's going to get the bulk of our students. But again, after that, a wide variety of things that center students are studying and engaging with after their studies end at center. This is a pretty high percentage to see 1/3 of our students continuing in education after center. I think it's a good testament to people's desire to learn, that curiosity like I talked about earlier. I really like this graph that's kind of hidden down here in the corner, and that is that 2/3 of center grads are going to go back and get an advanced degree at some point in their careers. So while that first third are only going right away, another third will go get an advanced degree. We are a place that inspires lifelong learning, that encourages people to do challenging things. And that might be, I'm going to go back to school and continue learning. And we love that. I'm going to pass things over to Adriana. Center is not a place that has sat still in the last few months, crazy though it has been. And she's going to give us a quick update on what's been going on.
Yeah, so here are some really great updates and changes going on at Center. Like Thomas said, things are moving like they usually do on campus, which is always really exciting. We did or will start a new study away program in New York City. Lauren did a great job talking about study abroad at Center, but we also have these study away programs. The one in New York City has a really great internship component to it, but it's really influenced by the social sciences, arts, culture, and when we can finally start it up, I think it's going to be great. We did just welcome a new president to campus. He comes to us from another small liberal arts college that really values the kind of small and personal learning that we do at Center. He's been here since July. His first 100 days recently passed, and he's definitely had a good start to his time at Center, and we're excited to welcome him. We're also undergoing renovation. In that corner, you'll see kind of a look at what our new Olin Hall will look like. Olin Hall is one of our science buildings. So if you are taking courses in subject areas like chemistry, physics, computer science, environmental science, these are the types of courses you'll take in Olin. And we're really excited to see kind of the labs, the research that will come from this newly renovated building. In the corner, you'll see our new CenterWorks program, which is located downtown. CenterWorks is a partnership between Center College and the downtown Danville area, and it's a great social entrepreneurship program. If you're a student that's really interested in something like business, but you're also really interested in how business can positively impact communities, I think CenterWorks will be really great. We do some pre-first year work with students that are interested, but the CenterWorks program also follows students throughout their time at Center. And then lastly, of course, even though we're socially distant from students, we do have students that are on campus with us. We also have some students that are learning distantly, but it's really been great to see how we've been able to stay centered during our time together. So if you're interested in the fun things that we've gotten to do, you're welcome to check out the hashtag Stay Centered. But it's been really great to see how the Center community has really maintained the same close, tight-knit community, even as we're wearing masks, even as we're staying healthy at Center. So I'll pass it over to Lauren, who will give some more application information.
Thank you so much, Adriana. So if this is sounding good to you and you're kind of feeling like Center could be a great spot for you, I really do encourage you to apply to Center. It is free on the Common App, so it'll just take a little bit of time, but we would love to get to read your application. I think I speak for all of us when I say one of our favorite parts of our job is getting to read applications, getting to know about students, figure out what you're excited about and passionate about, and really helping you find the right spot to be. And so we would love for you to consider Center and consider applying. We have 3 different application plans for when you can apply to Center and different plans for how you want to apply. They're all through the Common App. We are Common App exclusive for our application. So we have early decision, early action, and regular decision. Early decision is our only binding plan that's due by November 15th. The early decision plan is a really great option if Center is your #1 choice. And if you are accepted to Center, you're planning on attending. Early action and regular decision are both non-binding, but if you are applying to Center, I do recommend trying to have your application in by December 1st, just because you hear back from us a lot sooner. We're very excited to announce and just keep sharing that we are now fully test optional for admission and for scholarships. We do have a range of merit-based scholarships that are now all test optional. We will consider applicants for all of the different attributes that they share on the Common App, and test score is just one of them anyways, but it's totally optional if you want to submit those scores or not now. We also have 3 different Premier Scholarship programs that are full cost and full tuition plus programs. Those programs are now all test optional too, which is really exciting. We have one for students that want to change the world for the better, one just for first generation college students, and one for just students who are academically above and beyond and want to keep learning at a place like Center too. So definitely recommend looking at our website for more application updates and information, but we would love to see your application soon. We'd also love for you to keep in touch with us. I think one benefit of what's all been going on is how much we've been able to do virtually now. Things like Zoom, I know we didn't know about before the pandemic, and we do really want to keep connecting with students. One thing we're offering is we're offering Zoom interviews with students throughout the year. All of our admission counselors have availability to get to know you. Those are on our website, or please reach out to us if you'd like to set up a Zoom interview. Also on our website, we have a lot of virtual visit opportunities. Just at 4 o'clock today, we have a virtual tour with 2 of our student ambassadors. And we have recorded virtual reality tours of lots of our buildings on campus, athletic facilities, a full campus tour, an admission presentation with Thomas that's really fun to watch too. And we have a lot of different videos with our faculty, staff members, more information about center tradition. So probably more than you even would want to see, but all that's on our YouTube page and also linked on our website. So we really do recommend seeing that if you want to hear more about center. I also recommend following us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Our Instagram is definitely a place to see more of what our students are up to, keep up with them. We have some takeovers that'll be continuing through the fall too, so you can see what the fall's been like for us on campus. But definitely keep in touch. Keep us on your radar. We would love to get to know you better through your admission process, and we are excited to get to know you. So I'll pass it back over to Thomas, and I think we're going to talk about some questions.
Sure thing. I will encourage all of us to keep our cameras and mics on. And just another invitation, if you all have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to throw them in the Q&A and we will get cranking on them. But the first thing I want to ask is a general question to both Lauren and Adriana. I feel like this is a question that I got asked a lot as a student, and I still get asked a lot as an admission counselor at the school where I attended. What is it that made you choose Center College as the place to attend as an undergrad? And why are you still associated with Center College now as an employee? Why do both of those things? Why do either of those things? What makes Center special for you? And Adriana, I'll ask you to go first.
Sure. So I actually found out about Center through a CTCL event. So it all comes back, right? But no, I wanted to go to small liberal arts college. My older sister went to one. And so I knew that I wanted that kind of small, personal, intimate classroom experience. I also really loved learning and really enjoyed being challenged in the classroom. And so I knew that academics were really important to me. And then I think Lauren mentioned this as well, like studying abroad and getting to experience the world was something that I was really interested in. And so when I found Center, it just felt like all of those things came together in this really beautiful way. I also met my admission counselor for an interview, and she was wonderful. And it was the best interview that I had. And I interviewed with every college that I applied to. So students listening, if you are interested, I encourage an interview. You can learn a lot about a college and kind of the personality through that. So, you know, it just felt like kind of an obvious choice by the time I got my financial aid awards and was kind of balancing everything. And I felt like my experience at Center was really true to how I felt when I was going through the experience. Like it was this very personal academic experience. I did get to know students and professors really well and staff members. And so when I was looking at working within higher education, and because it's something that I've always been really passionate about, it also kind of made sense to work at Center. It made sense to give back to this place that had been so important in my life, where I had gotten these experiences that were so transformative, and to get to share that story with other students just felt really meaningful. And also kind of my, you know, my little world was at Center, and getting to stay in that was also pretty meaningful, but in a way where I still got to grow both as a professional and as a person. So yeah. Lauren?
Yeah, thanks. Pretty similar. I actually found Center through a CTCL fair too. It's funny, Adriana and I came from literally opposite corners of the US, but that's also, I was at a college fair in Orlando. And so back in 2010, I think, but there was something about Center that stood out, even just meeting the admission rep there. And I toured a lot of schools all over the country. Center was my last visit, and I really got to know my admission counselor. And something about Center that really stood out were just how genuine the relationships were. I didn't see a school where people cared as much about each other than they did at Center. I mean, and the people at Center just like gushed about how much they loved Center. I think that's something that I see through Center alums and students and faculty is that I mean, I would leave for breaks from Center. I'd go home and I couldn't stop talking about Center and how much I loved it and how much it meant to me. And it really is not just a campus, but it's a really strong community. And so I am the same. I'm very interested in working in higher education, really passionate about access to higher education and the transformative power of education. And I left Center when I graduated and got a master's in higher education and worked for two very different universities. I wanted to see more of what a big school experience was like and a large private and a large public. And I just felt myself really missing the experience of Center. And I had a hard time convincing people to do something really different than Center just because I really believed in Center and what it meant for me. And really, it was the relationships that brought me back. And again, it's really special to work at a place that has meant so much to me, but then getting to work with students who are excited about having that experience has just been really, really awesome to get to do too. So, yeah.
Thank you both. I love Center, and I love hearing people talk about it too, because it's a really neat spot. Another question that we often get, and it seems like a little logistical minutia thing, but when it comes to living in Kentucky, there are a bunch of things that people will ask about this, especially, I mean, 50% of our students come from outside of Kentucky, which is a sizable proportion. What is it like being an out-of-stater in Kentucky? I think we all, the three of us, have the same and different perspectives on this as people who all came from out of state. I mean, is it easy to have a car on campus? Is it easy to get around Danville? Does Danville have what you need? What appeals about being close to Lexington and Louisville? Can you speak a little bit about the dynamic of being a student in Danville and some of those logistical pieces, travel-wise or experience-wise? And Lauren, I'll let you take the lead on that one.
Yeah, so I am obviously a huge Danville fan now, being back in Danville too, but I loved being an out-of-state student at Center. I felt like I could have just a truly unique experience than my friends from high school were having. I got to have this brand new college life, and I got to really reinvent myself, even as cliche as that sounds, but I got to be someone completely different. And I got to have this really just unique to me experience. I'd never been to Kentucky before college. I'm a huge fan of Kentucky. I think there's just something really unique about the state and the traditions and the history and all the fun things that our state gets to do. But Danville, what I always say is I think the spirit and the feeling of Danville really matches our campus. It's very warm and welcoming. It's smaller, but you really get to focus on the people that are there. I love that downtown Danville is just within a walk of campus, and you really get to have this just truly college experience. I don't think I realized how important to me it was to go to just an undergraduate institution, the access to research, professors, all the availability of people on campus was something that just really mattered to me in my experience. And so what I loved about our orientation is that it's 5 days of just our first years being on campus, really getting to know each other, getting to acclimate onto campus. And I met some of my very best friends that week, and I felt super welcomed and excited to be on campus. So yeah, I love being out of state student. Can't recommend it enough. But Adriana probably has more insight too.
Yeah, Adriana, you have the last word. So what is it that makes Danville special, and why should people look at Center for that experience?
Yeah, I think Danville is such a special place. I think one thing that I really appreciated about Center is that I do feel like we're pretty tied to Kentucky, and I feel like Center embraces Kentucky in a really beautiful way. And coming from Los Angeles, yes, it's very different, but I, in the same way that I had this sense of adventure about wanting to explore the world and experience new cultures, like I felt the same way about college. I wanted to explore new places. I wanted to get to know people that were different from me. And Center was just a really, and Danville specifically was a really great way to do that. And I felt like during my time at Center, I got to know Kentucky beyond the grounds of campus in a really great way. But Danville's just sweet. I mean, I think our location in Danville is really special. We're a few blocks from downtown, and so we're kind of in the heart of the city. And so you're always a block away from a fun experience, whether it's going to the art center if you're a student who likes the arts, or, you know, going to the Hub, which is our coffee shop, or there's a great kind of yoga smoothie studio if you're into that kind of thing. And you know, I was always surprised and delighted at kind of the new things that pop up, and you think, oh, it's this small town, but it is always kind of changing and evolving. And it's this just great little world unto itself that I really liked.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. I think I can very comfortably speak for my colleagues in extending my gratitude for you spending your time with us today. Center's a special place, and we hope that you walk away with a sense of what makes us special, and are eager to connect some more. So, like I said, our email addresses are firstname.lastname@center.edu. All of that information is on our website, center.edu, and we're eager to connect. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, great rest of your semester, and I will turn things over to Russ to finish us up.
Thank you very much, and want to thank all of you for presenting today. I want to thank all of our attendees for joining us this afternoon. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted. Be sure to sign up for additional ones where you signed up for this one. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings. Again, the same place you registered for this session. I want to once again thank our presenters from Center College. Thank you for joining us today, and have a great rest of your Sunday.